in Newark City Hall. Uh, we are with someone who we are so privileged to be with. Uh, the first Grammy Award hip hop artist to be elected to City Councilman in America, Mr. Dupré Kelly.
Please, bro. But we no Grammy, just platinum selling.
Oh, platinum selling. I'm sorry.
No,
platinum
no,
selling.
it's all good. Hey,
I'm looking right at the
maybe
platinum
that'll get the
wall.
Maybe that'll get the Grammys. Come on in.
Yeah.
Come on in, Grammys.
That's it. Like I said, it's a privilege to be here. My podcast started out with me on the couch thinking that I needed to have a podcast, and I'm getting bigger and bigger guests, and you are one of the biggest ones. I appreciate
Oh man,
that.
thank you, man. It's an honor too, man. I'm a big boxing fan. I salute what you do, and your family has done for the sport of boxing too.
Thank you.
Man. Thank you.
So you got elected to the West Ward of Newark. This recent past election.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of a feeling did that give you?
It was an amazing feeling, man. It was an amazing feeling on so many different levels. Not just because of me though, just because I get the opportunity to govern where I grew up at.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the reasons, and just to see my mother on excited on a whole nother level. She's had so many different firsts with me to witness, but this one felt special for some reason to actually see her, to see my daughter excited about it. She's not my biological daughter, but I raised her since she was 5 months old. So just to see how excited she was, crying, and actually, it's dope to see our mayor excited too, because that means that he knows that there's more leadership coming to help and assist him in the city of Newark.
Right. One thing I can relate to you is that you had a previous career, and this is something that's totally different.
Yeah.
Does it feel like a sense of freedom? Like, when you're confined to probably your first career, sometimes if you do it long enough, it's like a job.
Oh yeah. That's a good
way to put it.
Yeah.
So do you feel like now you feel a little bit freer, like you can be another person, show your value to the world in a different way?
I don't think it's being another person, but I do feel like it is adapting to who you are growing into be. Right? I think that we're forever growing, and creativity is so special. You're an artist, even though you're in the ring. You might think of a new way to set somebody up for that jab or that shot or that hook. It just might be a way you fint, or it could be anything. But the only thing about creativity is we can't really tell anybody what it is. We can kind of tell people what it isn't. And I think that being a creator and moving into this new realm is just a total of all of the things that I added to the sum, right, over the course of years. And it's exciting because when you learn something new, you want to apply it and see the results from that. So it's not being a new person, but it is a certain form of freedom when you have something that's new, right? Because everything is new and exciting. When kids get the new black-owned sneaker companies, right. We can't say the other companies no more. But when you get those fresh new pair of kicks,
right.
When you look good and you go somewhere and somebody's there that you're attracted to or that's attracted to you, it's that newness, right? So I think that in this realm with politics, man, it's not just about being new. It's about applying what you have learned, because you can't just be excited in politics. You have to make the people excited, and I believe that's what we're doing with our men.
Right, and you mentioned your mother before. I understand that she was a single mother. Do you remember telling your mom that you wanted to be a rapper, a hip hop artist?
Yeah.
I want to go even deeper. Do you remember writing your first rhyme and showing your mom or showing a family member?
That's some good question. I don't remember writing my first rap. No, I don't. I don't remember. I remember some of my first raps, but I don't remember which one was actually my first rap.
Right.
I do remember my mother hating hip hop.
Okay.
I do remember her hating this rap and this boobity stuff, as she used to call it. But then I remember her falling in love with it too. You know, sometimes, man, in our communities, we have traumas and dramas that push us to the brink of loving something else that you probably once despised. And it was just unfortunate that I had a friend that I lost who I was supposed to go somewhere with. I didn't go with him, and I chose to stay home and write rhymes. And by me making that choice, it probably saved my life. We'll never know, but he died. He got killed that day.
Right.
You know, and I'm usually with him all the time. And long story short, my mother saw the incident outside, police, ambulance, saw that he was dead, saw the people I usually, you know, that I'm usually with, rushes in the house. I have a Walkman headphone on. At that time, we didn't have AirPods back then. But I have a Walkman headphone on, and I'm writing rhymes in my notebook. Right. And she just grabbed me from behind, hugged me, and said, you know, the fast version of it, said, whatever you are doing in that notebook has saved your life. And she said, whatever I have to do to support you to go to the next level, I want to do it. And I said, well, it's hip hop, it's rap music. She said, well, what's the next step? I said, I got to get into the studio and possibly make a video. Now, we talking the 80s. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was extremely expensive. Right. You know, but there was this guy in Manhattan, you know, he had Ready or Not Productions. And he was doing, I think, a video and 2 songs recorded for like $450 or $500. Wow. Our rent back then was $650 or $600. And she went to the sock drawer and got the $450 out of the rent and put me in the studio. And that day is when I learned what unconditional love was. Right. When somebody can support something that they do not like because the person that they love likes it. You know what I mean? Or loves it. That's unconditional love. So my mom showed me that. And then needless to say, the thing that she didn't like actually changed her life. It bought her a home, it bought her cars, it sent her on trips. You know, it retired her probably 15 years ago. You know, so.
Yeah, and you talk about your mom's sacrifice. Me doing my research on you, I know that you went to university. You know, coming from a single parent household in the inner city, how were you able to make that journey into going to college and being successful there? I understand that's where you met your fellow group members, right?
Yeah, man. Great questions, man. You know, you can tell when people research. But
I didn't look at the notes yet either.
Yeah, right. That's the we went to journalism school. But going to Shaw University changed my life in so many ways. And even the way that I got to Shaw University. You know, I got into a little trouble joyriding in the community where the court cases of that case had to maybe sit out a year from college. But I wasn't a bad guy, and a councilman whose office this used to be. This very office was his office. Wow. A councilman by the name of Dr. Ralph T. Grant, I believe the third, Ralph T. Grant, he knew that I wasn't a bad guy. I used to hang out with his son sometimes. And he came to my help, to my aid. And he said, look, you need to be in school. Because at that time I played baseball very well, so I lost all my scholarships.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
I didn't read that you lost your scholarship. I know you're a basketball player.
Baseball and basketball, but baseball was my, you know, God bless my dad, because he's the one who turned me on to baseball like that. But, you know, I had scholarships to go to school, and I thought I was going to be a New York Yankee. That was my dream. Right. And it got sidetracked, and Ralph Grant sent me to Shaw University on a partial baseball scholarship. Got down there, wound up hurting my knee, didn't play. But I met three guys who changed my life. One, Derek L.A. Jackson, who was Marley Marl's cousin. The other became the DJ of my group, DJ Laura Jazz, Anthony Colston. And somebody who I was in the program that sent us to school Mr. Funky was in the same program, Tariq Wardrick in Newark, that sent us, you know, I forgot what the program was that Ralph called it, but it was saving the lives of young men who were on a borderline.
That's a perfect storm of a situation for you to get to where you got.
Yeah.
You get a number one hit. Well, not a number one hit, but you get a big hit. Everybody recognizes the hit. I tell everybody, I'm in the suburbs, right? Kids are 15, 20 years old. I play Chief Rock.
Right.
And they're like, oh, I heard that song before. It's kind of like a cult kind of song. When that song first hit the radio and you heard it for the first time, how was your life the day before and then the day after?
You know, to be honest, the first record that I heard on the radio
wasn't Chief Rock.
Right. It was a song called Check It.
Okay.
That's on the Here Come the Lord's album. And then it had LL Cool J in the video and all of that back then. But the record that was constantly on the radio that we heard and coming out of cars was a record called Psycho.
Okay.
And then from there, Funky Child got popular all around the country. You know,
these are things that us,
yeah,
I didn't really, pay attention to, but we know.
Right. But I'm saying that to lead up. So Funky Child started to really brew. And I remember, and we did have number ones. It was just Billboard hip hop number one records. Funky Child was one of those number one records. And I'll never forget sitting in Roscoe, Chicken and Waffles, where God Bless the Dead, where Rock P&B got killed. Sitting in that exact same restaurant, they brought us the Billboard magazine and said, "Joe, you went number one," but they weren't smiling. And I said, "Well, why you don't seem happy?" And the representative from the record company said, "We messed up." I said, "What you messed up?" He said, "We didn't promote this record. We didn't think that we thought it would just be a filler record." And it went number one. So to answer your question about Chief Rocker, next was Chief Rocker. So now, since they felt like they messed up with Funky Child, all the bells and whistles for Chief Rocker, which went number one, which went top 40, it didn't go number one. But in top 40, I think we might have maybe 22, 23, something like that. But Billboard nominated, all of these award shows nominated for Chief Rocker to be an underground record and be on top 40. With Elton John and all of the back then in the 90s, right. That's because they felt like they messed up with the other record. And it goes to show you, when you put your resources and relationships behind something and push it, you can get it to where it's supposed to be. Right.
We had a podcast with someone who's from Newark as well, Ahmad Wallace. He is an R&B singer.
Shout out to him.
And he tells a story about how he was with, I think it was LaFace Records or something like that, and he had an audition, and unfortunately, they didn't like the way his voice sounded, and it was between him and a young man named Usher Raymond.
Oh yeah.
And Usher was the one who ended up getting the situation. So that's leading into my next question to you. Is there any time in the music business where you felt that you were slated or that it wasn't really on the up and up?
You know what, man?
Similar to boxing.
Yeah, I've heard that about boxing too. Yeah. Shout out to Jers, who was an Olympian out of Newark. He told me some of those same stories, but not so much in music. I have stories, but I think, I'm an actor as well.
Right.
At one point, I was with the William Morrison Agency for acting and for music. And shout out to Cara Lewis back then. But Cara Lewis, this was the lineup who her clients were. Myself, Omar Epps, Fredro, and Makai.
That's the whole New Jersey Drive movie.
Right, and Makai.
That's the only thing I know about Newark.
So right. So it was us four as her clients.
Right.
And we did all of the shows from New York Undercover to Law and Order and all of that. Every movie that Omar Epps. Shout out to Mr. Epps too. What up, O? Went in for, it was down to him and I. So from the Wood to all of the first time Felon to all of the joints that he got popular in, it was one time I thought I had him. It might have been, what was the one that LL played God? His character was called God. It was a drug, and Omar was an undercover cop.
I'm not sure.
I think his first time Felon, he had not finished filming The Wood. So they had to cast somebody. So they cast me, and then he finished like right before we started. They paid me and fired me and hired Omar Epps.
Wow.
So all of the movies that O was in, I look at these movies and I remember it just being him and I.
Right.
So I think about that sometimes, like, wow.
That's some tough competition.
And it's a crazy one. The Malcolm Jamal Warner, I almost was Theo.
Really?
Real.
So, on the Cosby Show.
Yeah, so I think about all of that, man. If I would have been successful at, achieving one of those parts, would there have ever been a Lords of the Underground? Would I have ever taken this path? And I'm gonna go ahead on a limb and say yes, because a lot of us believe that, our paths, the way we move is destined, right? It's our destiny. So, I'm here because I'm supposed to be here.
Exactly.
Or as my brother Michael Bibbs say, if you're in the car, you in the car. If you ain't in the car, you ain't supposed to be in the car.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
So, as a council member now, you're responsible for a lot of constituents, a lot of people. What are some of the needs and some of the things that keep you up of the people that you represent?
Just complaints, man. I don't like to see families suffer. I don't like to see seniors suffer, and I definitely don't like to see our youth suffer. So this job is a job that what it looks like on paper, it is so much more. Our job as a councilman is to create, to review, to make legislation. It's a part-time job on paper, but in real time, 24 hours. And literally, my phone doesn't stop ringing because I'm the type of person that I like to be, up close and in person with, and I try to make sure that a lot of my constituents have direct contact with me, because there could be an emergency that if it went through the pipeline, it might take too long and it could be fatal to a family or detrimental to a family. So I let them reach out to me. My phone doesn't stop. So I guess to answer your question, the thing that keeps me up at night is when I know that a family is really in trouble and they have to go through the pipeline, through the processes to get them whatever the issue is.
You're trying to speed the process for a lot of people.
Right.
I understand that. What are some of the initiatives or some of the things that you personally want to push forward and try to make a change for in the community?
One of my big things is revitalization of my community. I just happen to be able to govern where I grew. Grew up where I grew up in the West Ward of Newark, New Jersey. Redman's from there, Rod Digger's from there, Tame One and the Artifacts are from there. So it's a lot of popular celebrities that are from there. But there's a lot of real people with issues and concerns that I grew up around. And, revitalizing that community, I just believe if it looks good, you feel good. When you start to feel good, you do good.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of
let me give you another one from the boxing standpoint.
Yeah.
If you look nice, you fight nice. That's what they say.
Okay.
You look nice, you fight nice.
You look nice, you fight nice. And I like that. I'm trying to get this community, not even trying, we're starting to get this community to look nice so they can fight nice, and fight in a way that their voices are heard, because it's not all about the politician. It's about coming together and doing things together with the community. You need the community you need to hear their issues and their concerns, so you can know what to put on the plate for the lawmakers to make a decision upon or create the laws for.
Right.
It's no longer just throwing up a basketball court or a baseball field and just expecting them to come. You have to talk to the youth. You know, it's a different time. It's digital divide. It's a digital era. It's a gaming era. It's a metaverse era. It's, you know, it's just a different landscape. And to understand the landscape, you got to talk to the people who live on the landscape.
Right. And another thing that I'm happy that, you know, we're doing this today is because today is actually January 6th. Now is a day that we won't forget in American history. You know, our capital.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So the day of the insurrection.
That's right.
And you are allowing me to exercise my freedom of press in City Hall today.
In City Hall, man.
Invited.
That's right, invited. You didn't climb on the wall or bust through a window.
Invited. So I'm happy about that. But, you know, that's something that is a national thing.
Yes.
Do you have any aspirations to go farther in your political career beyond City Councilman of Newark? I know that that's your first priority. If you go national, that's going to be your priority as well. But is this the last stop for you in politics?
Man, I'll answer that like this. First of all, to answer the question, I don't know, right? And the reason why I'm answering it like that is because this highway called life, my body is the vehicle, you know, and on any vehicle, you have headlights that see 200 feet in front of you, right? But they see 200 feet in front of you when you're not moving, you know? And when you start to move, you see another 200 feet. You start to move a little bit more, you start to see on-ramps and off-ramps and destination signs that you couldn't see off of in the distance.
Right.
You know, if I move over there, I'm gonna see what's on the other side of that desk that I couldn't see from this vantage point. And when you start to see things that you couldn't see when you were off in the distance, you start to realize, or you start to have an attraction or an interest in the things that you couldn't see, that I couldn't tell you that I had an interest in it because I didn't know of it, you know? But as you move, you start to have interest and attracted to things that you couldn't see. And while I'm traveling this life, this highway called life, and on this journey to the destination of making the West Ward the best ward, you know, and to help move our city of Newark, New Jersey forward. And when I say the West Ward the best ward, I'm really talking about the entire total, you know, Newark in its totality. It's just a joke, running joke with other council members by saying the West Ward the best ward.
Right.
But if I make my ward great, it continues to push our entire city forward. So that's my destination on this highway of life, on this political highway of life. But I don't know what's on that off ramp up there. I don't know what's on that exit ramp. I don't know what that sign says over there that I might be interested in that destination sign. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Right. I thought I was going to be a New York Yankee.
Right.
And now I'm the councilman of the West Ward of Newark, New Jersey.
Right. Man, that's nice, man. So you're not saying no.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know. But I'm not limiting myself. You know, all things are possible in every regard. I don't know.
So you have a birthday coming up? Is that
yes,
going on?
Yes. Yeah. I have a birthday, January 14th, the greatest day ever. January 14th, man, we have been doing celebrating my birthday. I'm not a real big holiday guy, but I do like to celebrate Thanksgiving because it brings family out, it brings loved ones out, it brings friends out, and we've been doing it. My birthday, we've been doing probably since that I can remember. It started at 25. You know, I'll be 52 next Saturday on the 14th of January, and we started at 25 of doing parties every year. Right. And they've been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this time, we're connecting hip hop with politics. You know, so you can come with your sneakers with your suit on. You can come with a baseball hat on if you like. Whatever you think hip hop and politics is, we're mixing it together. I love to see mayors and assemblymen and assemblywomen and councilmen and councilwomen mixed in with a red and a method man and a red man and a, you know, whoever else of
Right.
hip hop royalty enters the building, man.
When you're around here, you realize that a lot of your co-workers and everything listen to them. They grew up.
Definitely. Yeah.
They might not admit it.
Yeah, oh no, they admit it. They admit it.
Big Wu-Tang fans in there.
Oh yeah, man. Shout out to all of the hip hop guys, man. Man, I just want to say, man, it's exciting because this is what hip hop looks like growing up.
Right.
You know.
Next level.
Yeah.
That's good. You know, and I can relate to you as well. Where I'm from, I had every opportunity, really. You know, but I chose the box. I left school to do it. You know, I did it. My first fight when I was 8.
Oh wow.
I retired at 30, and now I'm sitting here with you.
Hey, man. And you're doing a good job, though.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Now your party though. Because if we don't really talk about it, your publicist is gonna be mad.
Oh yeah. You think you was in a fight before?
Yeah, we need some more detail though, some more exact.
So it's happening, man. It's happening in the city, great city of Newark, New Jersey. Shout out to Miles Burger. It's happening at Robert Tree Hotel in the Crystal Room. Next Saturday, excuse me, which is actually my birthday, January 14th. VIP starts at 6 p.m. Party time starts about 8 o'clock.
Yeah. What's VIP? What's going on?
I mean,
VIP?
we got signature cocktails. You know,
because I seen the price isn't too bad, man. It's not too bad. It's
a fundraiser though.
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
What I do is I utilize my birthday to raise money to help the community.
Right.
You know, and now this is my first birthday party as a councilman. Right. And we're going to continue that. We're going to continue to raise money. And this money is to help our community, to continue to do things in our community. Only difference is we're doing it from the platform and the standpoint of being a councilman now.
Right.
So
where's the location you'll be at?
Robert Tree Hotel, which is on Park Place in Newark, New Jersey. Crystal Room, 6 p.m. VIP, 8 p.m. party time. DJ Mr. C from 94.7 The Block. DJ Young Fresh, Newark native and Jersey guy. We're gonna have a great time. Just enjoy ourselves.
From when to when?
From probably is over about maybe 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I can still get some sleep.
Yeah. Unless we continue the after party at one of the fine establishments in the Newark area.
I plan on coming.
Yeah, man. You definitely welcome. Definitely, man. For real.
So I know that you're very busy. You have another meeting after this.
Yes, I do.
Man. At the end of my podcast, I usually give, and you've been dropping a lot of jewels already, but I usually give the person I'm interviewing a chance to spread their message to the world. Either be something that people might not know about you, or just something that you want them to know and encourage them with. Statement from you. I like it to be your chance to freestyle.
Oh man, freestyle. Right?
Yeah. Freestyle your thoughts.
Yeah, man. I just want to say to everybody out there, man, you are who you are and where you are because of you. You know, I don't care, you know, if somebody caused problems in your life, you know, if your dad wasn't there, if your mom wasn't there, when you become of age and you have all your faculties about yourself, you know, nobody needs to take care of you mentally. You know, you are mentally stable and you're physically capable, and you are who you are and where you are because of you. All of our youth, please get involved in civics in your community. Find out what it is, research. You guys have the best library that anybody can offer, and that's Google. You know, Google, you should support this podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
But you have Google. You have all of the answers at your fingertips. But don't just take them for face value. Research, explore. Make sure they match up with who you are. And you should be just fine. Civics, learn about it. Learn about legislation. Learn about it. Enjoy the arts. Enjoy the culture. Expand it. Grow. Keep challenging yourself to be better so that you can better your best.
Thank you. So, January 14th.
January 14th, 1-4 equals a 5 in this guy year.
I appreciate you. That's Dupré Kelly.
We're going to put the accent on it. On that E.
Dupré, sorry.
Kelly.
Sorry, man. And you know what? I chop up everybody.
No, it's all good. It's all
Dupré
good.
Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Do it all.
That's right.
Dupré Kelly.
That's right.
Platinum.
That's right.
Winning artist. This is the Young Black Suburban. If you like what you saw today, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next time.
YBS.